Hi everyone and welcome. Hi everyone, I'm Wesley from Unaufadox Productions and welcome to episode 15 of Creating Bass Loops Live, the live stream where I create wonderful, great, funky, groovy bass lines for all you funky, groovy music producers out there. So in this episode, in these live streams rather, just give you a brief introduction in case you're new to the series, to the channel. So in these episodes, I go through a little bit of music theory, then I listen to the track which is on the screen, which I'll play in a bit, and then I create a bass line to it. And once that bass line's created, I then export it as it is to my website, and then you can use the QR code which is beneath the video to buy this loop now. So you'll see me upload it to my site, and then once it's saved, you'll be able to scan that QR code, go to the site and buy it so that you can use it right away in your project. Cool. And then after that, like once you've seen me upload it, I'll come closer, I'll put my bass down, and then I will go through this bass line and then just demonstrate how easy and flexible a 10-minute bass guitar loop is, because that's what I will be recording, a 10-minute bass guitar loop. So it'll be this entire duration. If you're a music producer and you're familiar with loops, you'll know that most loops tend to be around, we can get 4, but let's say 4, 8 or 16 bar loops. This loop that I'm about to create will be 241 bars. So you can just imagine how much flexibility and how much variation, because it's not the same loop over and over and over again. It's a simple groove which then I add a variation to, and then another variation, and then more and more as time goes on. So you can imagine, so let's say you really like this loop, right? You really like this fundamental groove that I'll create. So you chop that out. Let's say it's 8 bars. So you like that simple expression of it, but then later on you like where, let's say I did a lower version of it. So on the bass it's let me put it on so you can hear. So on the bass you've got this E and you've got this E as well. So you got like an octave. So let's say I'm playing a pattern and then I switch. So that's just one simple variation just off the top of my head while I'm doing the introduction to the video. But you can imagine of all of the rhythmic possibilities that I can add, or that someone could add. If you think of like a classic track that tends to have a band, so it will first verse intro start quite simply, then you'll have the chorus, not too much is happening, but the chorus there is a lift, there's already a variation. The second verse may have the same pattern, but here and there are little additions or bits being taken away. Then the second chorus is more than the first chorus. Then let's say it went to a bridge, so then the bridge is going to be different to those parts. It can be very different, but let's just say it was another variation of this simple pattern. But by this point it's more, let's say the bridge is just instruments, so no longer a vocal, right? We had a vocal in intro, verse 1, verse 2, chorus 1, chorus 2. So now it's the instruments' time to shine. So let's say by around this time here during this recording that I'm going to get into, that's where more embellishments will happen. So it's a more, every time I write this word it says it's wrong, but I'm going to use it just, I think you'll know what I mean. It's a more soloistic approach. So it's more notes. So if there were spaces earlier on in the groove, there'll be less spaces. It's more melodic. It's more like the bass guitar is singing in those moments. And you can think of tracks where the bridge, like, it's really singing, and then the next chorus after the bridge, that might even be doubled. That part is like, especially for an R&B track, the singer's really going crazy with emotional delivery and technique and style, and then the band are doing something similar. It's like a crescendo. It's like everything's been building up until this high energetic moment. That kind of choice, flexibility, variation, expression, freedom of expression is what I bake into these loops, and that's part of the inspiration behind them, because I used to use loops and just found as my skills and desires expanded, the loops didn't. So I never really got on with them. But then, later on I picked up the bass and then found myself in a position where I can I was going to say correct this problem. Not correct the problem, offer a solution to what I found to be a limitation. Cool. So they're 10 minutes long, right? But another exclusivity tick in the box is the fact that, so let's say I record this bass line, you love it, you scan the QR code and you buy the loop. When you buy the loop, the minute you purchase it and I get the notification, it will trigger a 24-hour timer. And after those 24 hours are over, I will remove that bass line from my site so no one else will be able to buy it. I'll also delete this live stream. And let's say, jumping around a bit, but stay with me. So let's say that I record this video and then some days pass and I do some edits and I share snippets of this bass line on social media. But if you buy it 24 hours on from when you buy it, I will then delete those as well. So I'll delete the ability to purchase it on my site, so I'll remove the item. I'll delete this live stream, so this live stream's going out on TikTok and it's going out on YouTube. So I'll delete, well, you don't need to delete on TikTok, but you do on Facebook, YouTube. So I'll delete the YouTube live stream, and then I'll delete any social media clips that I have shared. So from my end, at least, there'll be no evidence that I created this baseline, and so your baseline will be, uniquely yours, or uniquely theirs, uniquely the people who downloaded the link and the baseline. And that, I was talking to a few music producers before this idea kind of developed, and they were saying with loops that there's a big issue with exclusivity. Everyone has access to the loops, and it's like, kind of forever access. You just have to subscribe, and then it's no one's. It's just kind of, it's leased out, and hundreds of thousands of people have access to this all of the time. So I thought that with the 24-hour timer, it would speak to that, and them being 10 minutes long, it would speak to that, because it being 10 minutes long, the likelihood of you and someone else choosing the exact same loops and composing the exact same bass line is, I think it's slim. And especially for people who really go in and chop and move things around, who are really creative in that way, like MPC users, or people who are just, in there chopping and cutting, who are comfortable with that. For you people, you're going to create something truly unique. Maybe you'll create something which I didn't even intend to play, like never intended to voice the notes or do a pattern in the way that you eventually create. Lastly on that point, so you'll see me create the bassline, upload the bassline. So what you'll be buying is this raw bassline that I'll be creating, but you'll also get an edited version. So naturally I won't be editing it tonight, but I will within a 48-hour period. So let's say you scan the QR code once it's uploaded, you download it, you'll download what I played tonight. Then within 48 hours, you'll get an email saying that I've uploaded an edited and processed version of the bassline I created. And I'll also upload an edited unprocessed version, because so I have, I'll just show you what I've got going on here. So I've got this EQ. So that's removing interference, like feedback in my environment. and that's the main EQ I'm really using. And I'm adding a little bit of presence here. That was an experimental boost, but I've just left it on because it was cool. I've got this EQ, I've got this EQ, and then this just to sweeten things up. And also on a bus, I have, let me show you, I have that filter and a little bit of boost at 10k. I have a stereo widener because it's wonderful, and then I have an overdrive, which you'll hear when I play. So the version I'm going to send first, the unedited version, is going to be processed as well. So it's going to have all of that on it. And yeah, a processed version, edited, and then an unprocessed version, edited, just in case you want to add your own vibe to it. So you'll get the raw audio, so you can do what you like. I don't have compression on the bass because, well, in the first instance, I like my fingers to dictate how loud. Yeah, I like my fingers to dictate how loud or quiet I want the signal. I like to, I practice to control, like to have good control over that. But also, I mean, I know I'm going to send you an unedited, unprocessed version, but I don't know, I just don't want it in the, especially maybe because it's software, I don't want it in the signal. I don't want it on my bass signal chain. Maybe I'll get pedals and add it that way, but even when I was mixing, I just felt like you do need compression, but it's like, so let's say because I was a mixing engineer, so I'd get the mix, and then I'd clear out the bass and then EQ and do everything I could without compression, and then if I had to have it, then I had to have it, and in most mixes I had to have it. So I think I'm still reluctant to add it, but in post, like if I'm mixing a track, like I'll definitely add compression to the bass. Cool. All right, so let me just check that I'm all good here. I'm not going to linger on this screen for too long because I don't know why it doesn't update. Cool. All right, cool. So this track that I'm playing today is in A major. It's in the key signature of A major. And here are the notes that are in A major. So you got A, you got B, you got C sharp, you got D, E, F sharp, and G sharp. Let's put on my bass so you can hear it. So that sounds a bit like this. So you see these numbers? I'll just call out the numbers and they correspond to what's next to them. So 1A, 2B, etc. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is just A again, just the octave. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5. Cool. And so you've got there as well, major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor. And that is telling you what the chord quality is. So I'm going from single notes, so A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, A, to chords. So let me show you how these chords sound on their own. So I'll show you how they sound in isolation, and then I'll play the track, and then you'll hear them within the scope of what else I've got going on. So this is a cool little plugin called Scalar. It's an old version. They've got much newer ones out now. Contemplating getting it, but not quite yet. Don't need it quite yet. Okay, so we've got the 1. In fact, I'll bring it down an octave, make it a bit more juicy. So you got the 1, which is an A major, 2, which is B minor, C sharp minor, D major, E major, F sharp minor, G sharp diminished, and I'll just complete with the A major, an octave above. So that's how they sound in isolation, right? And so in this track, I'm following a chord progression within the key signature of A major. And this chord progression, it's a 6, 5, 2, 3. So all that's saying is, if you're unfamiliar with chord progressions, all that means is I'm playing the 6th chord, so the F sharp minor, then I'm playing the E major, then I'm playing the B minor, then I'm playing the C sharp minor. So the chord progression in isolation, just on its own, sounds like this. So you got a 6, 5, 2, 3. Again, 6, 5, 2, 3. And then just on the bass, how that sounds is, so 6, 5, 6, 5, 2, 3. Alternatively, 6, 5, 2. Again, alternatively, 6, 5, 2. So on the bass, you can play notes in various places, and wherever you play it, it kind of dictates the character, like the character of the note. So you got like you got this E here, got another E here, and then another E here. So all different qualities, and when you're playing, you can draw on all of these different qualities and express a slightly different, not different, you could say different emotion. Like the chord is delivering the emotion, right? But if you choose a different note, it can just be a slight different degree of the same emotion. It's like, so it could be happy, and then joyfully happy, and then happy just chilled, you know, just living life, just, you know, it's all good, the sunshine is out, and, you know, it's wonderful. Cool. So chord progression, right? 6, 5, 2, 3. So I'm going to play this track and you'll be able to follow along, because these numbers up here correspond to these numbers here. So for this duration, we'll be in the 6. For this duration, 5, and you can work out these two, right? And then it just repeats. So you've got this kind of red kind of color. So you got 6 there, 6 there, 6 there, and it just repeats all the way to the end. So I'm just gonna run the track so that you can hear, right? So 6, 5, hello, Shubham. Hey man, thanks for stopping by. Cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna run the 6, 5, 2, 3, right? So 6, 5, 2, 3. I'll just play the most basic note, right? So 6, 5, 2, 3. And I'll play it somewhere else now, just so you can maybe get the different emotion. So what I was playing there was the most harmonious expressions of those chords. So you'll see, so I will just show you this. Let me open up that plugin again. So we've got the 6, right? Let's make this a bit bigger. That's huge. So we've got this 6, this F sharp minor. So that's the lower one, higher one. Cool. So we've got this F sharp minor, right? And if you can see this keyboard up here, as I hover over, there were notes that are changing color. So that is the composition of this chord. So it's in its most simplest form. A chord is known as a triad, and a triad is 3 notes. So this is F sharp, A, and C sharp. So that is what you are hearing. There are more notes here because I've built out the chord to make it sound a bit more interesting. But at its core, that's the most stable expression of the chord, like these 3 notes. And at the root, I was playing F sharp. So I was matching the kind of composition, if you like. So at the very bottom, like the lowest note in this F sharp minor is F sharp, and I was playing the F sharp. So that's why it sounds so stable. But if I begin to move around, you feel the stability shifting. And it's not wrong. It's just a different expression of the same thing. So I'm still in the key signature of A major. I'll still be playing the notes. I'll be playing just these notes, 1 to 7, nothing outside of the key, right? So it's all within the rules. So I can, like, you can do this. Like when you produce, you should experiment just like this. So I'm gonna play this. So this is just F sharp. It's gonna loop around, right? So just F sharp. So what I'm going to do, so I'm here, right? So I'm 6. So I'm going to move around. So 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just going to play those notes over this chord and just listen to how the emotion changes from stability to not discomfort, but just away from stability and then back to stability when I get to here, when I get to the 6 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When I get back here, it will feel like home again. So 6, 6, 7, which is nice. 8, which is 1, 2, not bad. 3 is nice. 4 is weird. 5, you can really feel that. Hold on. You can feel that. You kind of feel the pull. You can feel the pull with 5 to get to 6. It's not stable. It's like it wants to do this. But this feels like, it's better. Thank you. Cool. Right, so I'm going to get going with this bass line now. So what I'm going to do is check. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. The beat bangs. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for stopping by. Cool. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is listen to the bass line. I'm going to listen to the bass line in my head, and then I'm going to send that message to my fingers, and then I'm going to record it. But first, I'll listen to the track and develop the idea. And yeah, you may see me noodling around a bit as well. Yeah, you'll hear me noodling around as I find something. And then if I find something, I may start recording it, because I'm prone to stopping and then starting saying something. Like I might have some kind of insight that I really want to share, and then I'll share it. And then in the past, I've forgotten the bass line that I've been doing. So I may begin to noodle and then hit record, but that won't be the bass line. I'll let you know when I get going with the bass line I'll let you know when I get going with the bass line that I will be uploading to the site. So yeah, let me just have a little listen to the track. Stay away from these drums, because I use these, so each project I can use up to 12 times, because there were 12 keys. And yeah, so I vary the tempo, and sometimes all the time. So I vary the tempo and have to, so the chord progression stays the same, right? But as you move between the keys, the notes, the chords have to change, because I'm playing bass, right? So just for example, so I'm in A major now, right? So let's say one project I want to do in G, and then one project I want to do in F, and then E. So as you can hear, the notes go down, so the chords go down the frequency spectrum. So then they come closer to the bass. And if you're into mixing and balancing, which all producers should at least be considering at some point, you'll know that there's only so much room in the frequency spectrum, right? The audible frequency spectrum. So when you're born, you can hear from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, and we hear that back on speakers and headphones, and these days phones. But let's say big speakers, like big studio, well, not big, medium studio monitors, right? There's only so much room in that range, and there's only so much a speaker can reproduce accurately. So you can't have, let's just exaggerate, you can't have everything in the lower ranges, because then it's just muddy. There's no top end, and the speaker will struggle to reproduce all of those different clashing elements accurately. So to help the speaker out, it's good to spread those sounds across the frequency spectrum. So if I have a chord and it's all the way down here, I need to do something to that chord to bring it up, or bring up even higher, so it's out the way of the bass. And that's what I have to do each time I edit the chord for a project, and it is good fun. to see. I like the dun 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 dun. I'm just wondering whether to move that around or not, or to leave it. So what I'm playing is so 6 7 1 2 3. So 6 3 6 6 6 3 6 6. So this is called so as I move along, and any questions about this, let me know, man. Yeah, appreciate that, man. So yeah, any questions about this, let me know. So the chord progression, right? 6 5 2 3. As you can see up here, the colors 6 5 2 3. So with bass, it's taught like, so you got the root and the 5, and that's applicable in any of these, the 6 to 5 to 2 to 3. So when I'm on the 6, I have, so in my mind it's like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Even though it starts at 6, in my mind it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, right? And with that, I can have 1 and 5, and then when I go to the 5, this one here on the screen, this here, the E major, I can have 1 5. Then when I go to the 2, I can have 1 5, and then same with the 3. So I'm doing dum, 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 dum. I think I'm gonna go with that, but let me just develop it. I like the space that it has. So yeah, although it's pretty stable, but let me record it anyway. So, a bit early. So I'm just thinking about how to get back home. So dun 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 dun. So from the 3, right? So I'm around here. I have to get back to the 6, the root note of the 6. So the root note of the 6 is here and here, and I'm here. I can just go to the higher one if I want, and then find a way back. Yeah, let me go again with this and then get going with it soon. I just want to lock it in. Try this. Maybe. Go with that, you know. What was I gonna do before? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that. All right, cool. So let's check the comment. Sliding down. Maybe. All right, I'm gonna give that a go, man. I'm gonna give that a go. See how it goes. All right, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Hope you enjoy. That's the first one, right? Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Yeah. Then I'll add the next note. So that note just, I'll go back. Cool. Important to get this tail when you're recording. So awesome. Thank you. So that note there, that was an example of using a different note on the root. That's how it feels. So that sound there. So that's the sound of a 3 being played over a 2. So I'll just, I could just mute that and show you what the 2 sounds like. So the 2. So that's the 2. But I played a 3. I played this. So I played the 3, and then I stayed on the 3 for the 3. So I'll just let that play. Save it actually. So this is the sound of the 3, and then there's the 3 again. So you can hear the differing degrees of I was gonna say harmony, right? And it kind of is, but in a conversation about is it harmonic or is it dissonant? That's not in this conversation. Dissonance is when I play a note that's outside of the key signature and it kind of clashes with what's going on. But you can use that to good effect. Like if you just sort of dip in and out of the dissonance, it can create really nice contrast. Similar to a movie, it can kind of dip in and out of what you might perceive as more negative, but then the resolution at the end is like, oh, awesome, we made it back home kind of thing. But you can't, well, not for my enjoyment anyway, can't just sit through a completely negative experience because I care about my happiness. So yeah, cool. Thanks for the comments. Glad you like that. Glad you like it. I appreciate that, man. The initial one, I don't know which that was, man. In the recording that I did or a recording that I got rid of. Yeah, it's interesting. Like sometimes when I listen back, so like sometimes I'll finish the recording and think, it was good. Like I had a good time. Like I enjoyed it, but it's almost like, so being a mixing engineer for such a long time, it's like you, and a producer as well to some extent, but I feel like with mixing it's like a hyper awareness of what's wrong. So you'll get a track from someone, you'll get like tracks, multi-tracks, not stems, you tend to get multi-tracks, and so you got kick, snare, like kick in if it's a band, kick in, kick out, snare, hi-hat, lead vocals, backing vocals, harmonies, like all of these elements. And then so as soon as you hear them, you're thinking, what's wrong? So the entire time you're thinking, what's wrong? So even as you fix things, it's like you fix it, it's like, right, okay, that's cool, and it's really short-lived. Then you instantly move on to the next wrong thing, and then when you get to the end is when you can't find anything that's wrong. Not when everything is fixed. It's not when everything is fixed. It's when there's nothing wrong. That's like, oh, okay, well then this is cool, and then you can begin to enjoy what you've done. And so I think a bit of that mentality is still present with these bass lines. So whilst like I enjoyed it, like if I wasn't enjoying it, I would have stopped and re-recorded. So I'm pretty pleased with what I did. But still there were some points like I can remember like, I didn't get the idea to my fingers quite quick enough with that one. It was a touch late, but would say there's more notes that are on point than not here. So let me save this and highlight the whole thing. And so I'm going to bounce this now. If you don't use Logic, then this is the exporting process, exportation. So you might wonder, why so low? Like, why am I not banging into the meters? So I'll just let me just start this bouncing and I'll tell you. So this description is exactly what it is. So episode 15, in fact, let me put a bit more information on there. So we're in A major and it is 96 BPM. And it is processed. As I said, I'm going to leave all of these processing plugins on, and it's unedited. So all of those little hesitant to say mistakes, slippages of time, all of those I'll address post within the next 48 hours. And then, yeah, as I said, I'll be uploading the edited version, processed, and then another version which is unprocessed, edited. So this is processed, unedited. Yeah, so why do I bounce? Why do I export lower volumes, not banging into the meters? Because this isn't, so let's say you buy this bass loop, right? Then you add it to your track, but your track isn't mixed yet. You're still adding all of the necessary ingredients, right? So I don't want to give you a bass line which is technically already, I use this term loosely, right? I use this term loosely, like already mastered. And just by mastered, I mean in terms of, you know, getting to the level where you want to, where you'll be able to release it to the public. So I don't think you should start with that, because, so let's say, so on this master output, I've got a limiter, and that is really for YouTube and the live stream purposes, just so that it's of a decent level. And you know, if you're just listening on a phone, you can turn it up and enjoy it loudly. If I didn't have this on there, you may not get a decent volume from this video. So yeah, and I bring it down because I don't want the product to be at the same level as the live stream. Because yeah, like you're producing, you're adding, so my bass in your track might just be one of 30 elements. So if I send it fully hot, fully loud, you're just gonna have to turn it down, and you're just gonna have to turn everything else down. Like if you get everything fully smashed into the meters, you're just gonna have to turn everything down. So I said in the last video, I get it from like a perspective of a person who makes samples or makes loops. Let me just slam it into the meters, make it really hot and make it really loud, so that it's not they want to overwhelm the music producer. They don't want to overwhelm the person who may buy it. That's not what I'm suggesting, but it's like there's this psychoacoustic effect that if something's loud, you equate it to good. And this prompted something back in the day called the loudness wars. And it's kind of, I don't know if it's over. I don't really pay attention to that aspect of things anymore, like the competition to be loud, because loud doesn't mean good. You could win the loudness war and the track still not be good, whereas someone who is not involved in the loudness war could just mix a track well, and it's loud enough, like it's not low on a phone or anything, and it just sounds, you know, in terms of fidelity, wonderful. Yeah, so that's why I think that's done to make it maybe better than it really is. But when you turn it down, that's when you really get a sense of, is this good or not? So yeah, bear that in mind actually when you're browsing samples and all of that kind of thing. Loud doesn't always mean good, and you should check that out. Do like comparisons lower, see if it's really good. And also as well, I like something called dynamic range, which is so you see how, so you've got little dips here, and then it goes up and then goes down, it goes up and down. It should do that. It shouldn't just be like a long rectangle, like a long block of cheese. It should go up and down. There's a really, really cool track. If you don't know this track, you should definitely check it out. Hans Zimmer, No Time for Caution. And so the beginning is like, yeah, it's loud enough, like it's fine, and it's very dynamic. Things are coming in, and then it swells, and then there's like it's not even a crescendo because it's not done. It just, everything kind of like more elements come in, and it's just, if your system is up loud, it kind of blows your hair back. It's like, wow, that's cool dynamic range. That is, you know, like a movie experience. There should be quieter parts, there should be louder parts, because that contrast, like that distance from quiet to loud, we like that. It's an enjoyable experience. When music doesn't have that, it's fatiguing. Like it's just loud, and it's just like, oh, I can't be bothered anymore, man. Anyway, cool. So what I'm going to do now is switch to the other project. Let me just mute the mic a minute and bring this forward. In fact, let me open the other project whilst that is happening. Just mute the mic. Maybe not. Oops. Cool. Okay, so every now and then, when I'm using OBS, which is the screen that I just showed you, I will lose my shortcuts, and that's what's happened right now. Oh, one moment, I'm gonna have to stretch. I'm getting a bit of a cramp. All right, cool. Just had a case of cramp in my right leg. All good. So let's move the mic a bit closer. All right, so let me go and get that bass line. So I'll copy that. So this is the project where the music was created. Cool. So let's just check that. So let me save that and then just close the other one because I don't need it anymore. But I will save it just in case I have not done already. Okay, so if you're listening to this in the past, in the future rather, so the bass line that you just heard, let me just mute my bass, get out of my headphones. The bass line that you just heard will be the edited version that you can now scan with the QR code. So what I would have done is, as I said earlier, 48 hours would have gone by and I would have gone back and edited this performance, and then I would have replaced the sound in the video with the edited version. So what you preview in this video is the product that you would buy, and you can tell if I've done it or not because this video now is going to be in the lives section. The edited version will be in the normal video section. Also, you'll have in the description not only a link to the website, you'll just have a link to the product itself, just the product itself, and you'll also have like a description of what I got up to in this session and just a little bit about the bass line and a little bit of my thinking as well during this session. Cool. So I'm gonna maybe go a bit further on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this twice, and then I want to cut this audio at this point, but I want it to be consistently cut. In fact, let me just quickly save this as version 10. Product demo. So I want to cut this at these intervals, right? So every 2 bars. And what this will do, it will make it super easy for me to then chop and move things around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to Option, and you can see my button presses up here, and then I'm just going to cut, and it's cut at all of these bars. So now I can just move a 5, move a 2, and do whatever I like. So let me go a bit further on, and what I'll do is I'll just create a let me just have a listen to the track, see what the track's doing. Seeing as it has this horn here, let me find, so I know, so at one point I looked up and I saw that it was just over halfway or something like that. And what I like to do in these bass loops is add, so what might be considered a verse idea and a chorus idea, or a chorus idea and a verse idea, however you want to look at it. So at some point I started sustaining the notes more. So if you're unfamiliar about what that means, it just means, so you see these here, so that's a longer note, which means I held the note, that's what sustaining means. Take these, I can already hear for this production, because it's like it feels laid back to me. So if I just move, like the mood of this, even the drums, like it feels more laid back. So this too. Like that little movement there, it's a bit on the nose for me. Like it's a bit too on the bar. Like I want it just behind the beat is where I want these bass lines. However, if you add, so let's say you was doing like an indie rock or some kind of indie pop kind of vibe, it would completely change the characteristic of the bass line. So then you may want it timed like that. I just don't in this instance, so I'm going to go and find another two where I've timed it a bit behind. And this is the case with these, and this is like one of the cool things about these bass loops is, so there's variable timing, and this is the human effect, right? A human playing for 10 minutes. So there's variable timing. So some notes are just behind the beat, some are right on the beat / just before the beat. Some notes are late. However, that might be what you want in your production. And this was a thing in so I've done this I've done this before. I used to do this, and I created 95 episodes, and back then I was doing 95. I did 95 episodes, and in each episode I'd create 2 10-minute bass loops. And one sec. Oh, I kind of lost my train of thought there. It'll come back. That was it. So yeah, before I did, I was doing 2 per episode, and when I'd come to edit them, it's like, how strict do I edit them? Because I was a mixing engineer. I was a sound engineer first, went to college and stuff, and was doing it as a business. It's like, how strict do I edit? Because you've got some producers who like that wiggle room in their production. Like if you listen to D'Angelo's Voodoo, for example, some of the phrases, some of the notes, they're quite late, and it's really good. It's really good. So when I was editing, it's like, how I'd like to include that. So how strict do I edit these loops? Anyway, so in more modern times, like these days, it's quite strict. So if it's just after the beat, it's cool. If it's just before, if it's obviously lazy or obviously early, then I tend to bring it to closer to the bar. Like this very loose feeling, I'm kind of removing. I may do a series where I leave that stuff in, so then I suppose for the more advanced people out there, you can move your kicks and your snares and your hi-hats and your other elements around a looser feeling bass line, and then you can have that looser kind of J Dilla sound in your production. But yeah, it's a tricky one to find like middle ground. So I think initially I'm going to go for like a more beginner to intermediate friendly kind of vibe, and then later on I'll explore that kind of thing, but I'll say ahead of time. So this one, I know I'm going to want to change the 2. And also let me change the structure a little bit. So let me bring those down. So let me do a more typical structure here, right? So these are the elements which kind of signal that the chorus is happening. I have to shorten them. So we've got, let's say it's a 4-bar intro. No, it won't be a 4-bar intro, will it? Let's just say we go straight in. So 16 bars. So that's the beginning. And then we we go into this chorus, and let me shorten the chorus down a bit. These as well. Cool. Let's have 16 bar chorus as well. So I'll just move that all the way down here, and then move it here, and I'll double it for now. In fact, let me go find this 2 before I double it. So let me see what I want to change. So this, let me go and get another 2, right? So because of the markers I've placed, this is very simple. So yeah, down here, it's around, so play this 2. That's not bad. Maybe. Probably not this. Alright. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to take the end of this and stick it on the end of this. So I'll put that back and put that back, and then just bolt that on, and just when you're doing this, check that it's on absolute value, not relative. That way you'll stay in time. Snapping value, smart. So snap to grid. Can you see that? Yeah, I think you can see it. Well, let me zoom in. Let me zoom in just in case. Alright, cool. So I think I'm here, and you should be able to see that. Yeah. Alright. Hopefully you can see this. Oh, actually, I can check on my phone. Yeah, you can see that fine. Cool. Yeah, so when you go to snap to grid, when you go to snap, you want to snap to grid, smart snap, snap to absolute value, because then it will snap to an absolute value, and it was recorded on the absolute value grid. So when you're moving around, even though I'm a bit early and late at times, pardon me, even though I'm a bit early and late at times, you still have to go by this grid, because if you don't, then you'll kind of be nowhere. Because let's say on the first 2 notes of the 2, I'm bang on, and then I'm a little bit late. The next note I might be bang on, so you have to follow that, because if you're a bit too late, then the first note is a little bit late, the second note is very late, and then the third note is kind of late. If any of that doesn't make sense, leave me a message in the comments. Oh, or maybe you have. Right, cool. So yeah, I want to change this one here, right? So I could put that back. I'm not going to, because this isn't a long-term project. But what you'd want to do is maybe put that back to show that it's unused. So let's have a listen to that. This free as well. I'm going to change that for something else. have a listen. Nothing too dramatic. So this is cool, right? But something you got to be aware of is so I mentioned earlier you can play different sounding notes on the bass. So you've got the octaves, right? You got the lowest and then like the highest version. So you got like a deep E and then like a higher E. But where that higher E is on the D. So you got 4 strings, right? E, A, D, and G. E is the thickest string and it gives that really deep subby kind of tone. The A string is thinner, so it doesn't have that depth of the E. And then it's the same story as you get to the highest string, right? So they don't have that depth. They have more of a melodic, twangy kind of sound. So you have to be aware of where you're coming from and where you're going to. So here I'm coming from not the deepest of notes, but I'm going to the higher strings. So this particular 3 goes into the higher 6, not the lowest one. So let's see. Same there. There, I mean, I jumped to the 6, to the lower note. So let's. I'm gonna take it. So there it is. So that little to move the region, like. So what I'm doing is I'm telling Logic to move the region all the way left until you hit something. So, and I'm using Option and like it's like a bracket. So if you look at the screen up here, so Option and this, and that's what it does. So let me move that one out of the way, and then I can do it again here, and it'll be in time. So let me just mute that. Just one bass line at a time. Cool. So actually, if I was to continue, maybe it would be a good idea to grab that one. Listening to my stuff. I like those little melodies, and like when I'm playing with the timing of it. Cool. Alright, so let's say, so I'll get rid of that, and let me add something here called arrangement. Let me move arrangement. Let me do, oh yeah, okay. So let's change this to verse, chorus. I don't think I'll have an 8-bar. Will I have an 8-bar chord? No, I'll have the full 16. That seems extra. Oh yeah, because okay, cool. So, and then we just make that a different color as well. That different color, so it's clear. Cool. So I need to put this back actually, because I'm gonna go into. No. It's cool. Let me find another 5, but a higher stringed 5, right? So something like that, but all of it like that. That's okay because it's going lower as well, which I want. That's cool. That's not, because it's already low, so it might sound jarring to go from like so suddenly without any approach notes to just go straight to that. By approach notes I mean so say you're like in a lower note, you could be like do 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 do, like that. Those approach notes get you to your destination in a smoother way. So let me press that. So now I can go lower. So I'll find a low 2. That's sustained. No, here, here, yeah. I think I want both of those. So. Cool. So that's the chorus, right? So let's just color code them. Now let me do the verse. So the verse is not going to be the sustained notes, right? It's going to be the normal. It's going to be the shorter notes, more staccato. But staccato tends to be like duh, duh, duh. But it's just, these are just shorter. And this is what I mean by, so this is like a chorus idea. The longer, more sustained notes, more chilled vibe. And then you get the shorter notes. It's kind of like a bit more funky, a bit more urgency, you could say. So let me work backwards from the longer ones. So yeah, 6. That's like a staccato note, this one. So no. And the first half. So as I was saying in the beginning, so things like that, so I'll be doing edits like that. And then I'll smooth that out. Yeah, this is going to require a bit more, so just quick and dirty, just to make the point. So that's what I'll be doing in post, but right now, for the sake of this video, I can't use that. So another 6. second half. I don't want the sustained notes in the verse. This is why it's so important to whatever your endeavor. Stay in the game, because this first note, I didn't intend to go for that note, but the rest of it's fine. Oh, maybe not that. Oh, that's fine. But do you hear? So like this is right on the line. So it's like, so I do a lot of like metronome work when I practice, and it shows that it's cool because the timing is, it's like it's right on the bar. But I don't want that in every production, and I don't want it in this track right now. So I'm gonna find something else. So yeah, I like that, but let me make that red, and then just replace that part. So I need dun dun that. So if there's another one. So, is that one? Yeah, cool. That's it. So just the beginning. Yeah, cool. So we have this part, which is like 2 bars, and then I'll put that back, and then I'll just marry those two together, and then move that across. Hold on. What's going on there? Let's see where the cut is. So the maths of the cut is not quite right. So I need 1, 2, 3. 3 what's that? Quarter notes. So let me go and get that. Is it this? Yeah. So I took 2 from this before, so the maths wasn't right, and you heard that in the timing. And then just move those. And so you hear that pop there. This pop is because I've cut where you can see there's still audio, and I've cut that, so that's what that is. And I'd recommend fixing this once you're happy with it, then fix it, because if I was to fix that now, so how I'd fix it would be just to drag. So drag that a bit shorter, and then drag that. So that's gone now, right? But if I later feel like, I really like that part, it's no longer on the line, so I'll drag that somewhere else. So let me just for example, so let's say I want to put it here. Like, yeah, okay, cool. It's instantly wrong because it's now it's larger than it was, and I've dragged it off of the grid. Now it's kind of nowhere within the track. It's out of time. So this also highlights the importance of sticking to the grid. At least initially, like when you start working with these loops, at least initially, like once you get comfortable, or if you're comfortable with audio editing, I would still say stick to the grid, and then once it's in place, then you can start, doing things like, like moving things around and giving them a bit of a different feel. For example, like this. So it's like a tiny bit lazier. So I'll just add all of the fade so you can just hear that. So yeah. So where are we? All right. So what I'll do is I'll get the get the 5, the 2 and the 3, and then I'll call it a night. Yeah, so just simple, right? Right, that might actually be good, because feels a bit on the nose or something. So as I said, the notes, like they are right on, like they are, it's like they are perfect, but I want it a bit lazier. Or is it, have I moved it? Second half, you know. Let's see what okay, cool. So I'm just gonna take the end part. So let me see what this feels. No, I need to continue. I need to continue that. So I need a 5, a deep 5. So you can hear there, sounds like 2 different places. Oh, nice. Don't want that, I don't want. Should I go up? Like that. Cool. So 5, now at 2. And then a 3. Yeah. Okay, that's cool, right? Here, like these are a bit on the nose for this track. I want them a bit behind. That note as well. This is like behind the scenes of what goes on with these bass lines after the live stream, not today. But at some point I'll spend a sufficient amount of time doing this. Yeah, cool, just that one as well. A bit behind. as I said, with a different production, this timing would be cool, but I want it laid back, more laid back rather. Cool, so skip. Last one, it's too far back, I think. Whoa, timing's weird. Okay, let me just drag it. Maybe that function has done something to the fades. Yeah, so that shortcut that I used, I think it done something to the timing, because that was really weird. Cool, so what I'll do, just because I'm going to end, I'm just going to sort out these transitions now. I just had it in my mind to fast forward this part. This was like a tutorial or something. I can just hold on, like select them all and do this in one, but that's not a very good way to do it. Even though I need to do it quickly, that's still like here, for example, I need to go this way, so I include that whole note. I don't want to fade in of it. And then yeah, same here, I need to put the fade kind of in, it's not silent, but in an area where there's not much happening, because then the transition can be seamless. If you start like this, that's fine. If you start overly fading in areas where the waves are happening, you don't get away with it. Okay, cool. And go all the way back with this one. I think that's cool. Yeah, cool. So yeah, I'll take it from the chorus so that we can hear with the track, right? In fact, what would it be like if I was to mute these and then just have the track playing? Yeah, I'd move these back like that. You can see they are like right on, but okay, let's just go from there. Because the feel of those I would want to select, so yeah, I'll just go from what I've been working on. So yeah, just mute that. Gotta fade that. Probably just move that. Yeah, so coming out of the chorus, kind of like emphasizing the fact that we're not doing that anymore. Instantly, like with the editing, I can instantly feel it's more for this vibe of track, like the timing of it. Like it really suits that behind the beat feeling. Like if so, you can see so the line that I'm showing is right on the bar, and this is just how far off it is. And I really like that, but I am conscious that that's not going to be for everyone, so I will bear that in mind with the edit. So yeah, I will leave some diversity, let's say, in the edit. So yeah, man, that is it for tonight. Thanks to everyone who stopped by. Thanks the Beat Bangs, appreciate you stopping by, man. Looking forward to contributing to your next live stream. Yeah, thank you for the contributions on YouTube as well, much appreciated. And yeah, man, so yeah, I do this every Wednesday evening at 8:30 p.m. British Standard Time on TikTok and YouTube. Check out my website in the comments. Yeah, scan the QR code, go and buy the bassline, and I'll be uploading the next 2 versions ASAP. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing with the website at the moment. So it's like a new design, new website. So I'm working on bringing all of the bass lines. So you'll see that this is episode 15. On the website, there is episode 14 and episode 2 and episode 3. Yeah, I'm still bringing everything across. So yeah, over time it will just be populated. So keep an eye on the catalog. You can, if you go to the main page, you're able to scroll to the bottom and you'll see like my bio, and then you'll see follow, so you can subscribe and stay up to date with everything that I'm uploading there when I'm uploading it. So if you're subscribed, then you'll be the first to know when new basslines go up, or the previous basslines, and any offers or any promotions or any other basslines I want to share, because I'll get back to it. I haven't been posting to social media because the website's been taking up most of the time, but when I get back to doing tests for these videos, I'll create a bassline in the test. And I mean, no bassline is throwaway, like, you know, all creativity is valid and valuable, but those I just create in the moment so that I can get levels. So maybe there's a set of circumstances where those get given away or get included in bundles, or they go to people on the subscription list. We'll see how this thing develops. So far it's going very well, really enjoying these live streams, creating the bass lines and talking about music. Anyway, let me stop talking about music and end the stream. So yeah, thanks for joining, thanks for commenting, thanks for contributing. Until next time, make great music and enjoy life, and I will just play this track and then I'll end the stream. back from here.